On today's video, we'll be seeing about 12-week year plan or method. So I'm just checking to see if it works because I recorded a whole as lengthy video like a while ago and apparently the audio wasn't recording. Even now I'm not sure if this audio is recording. I'll just check once more. Forgive me if this audio is crappy because like my previous audios were recorded without mic and those were already crappy, and this mic, right, I had two mics. One of the mic is missing and this mic is the crappy one. Yes, I found a new productivity method for this year, and before I start yapping about that, we'll go and see how I got introduced to it and what I did with the method so that we can revisit to this point of time, which I'm recording like on the third week of Jan 2025. Like we need to see the before we can see the after. I know none of this makes sense. Let's just go see that video and come back here. So I actually came across this 12-week year concept earlier, like around Jan 2 or something. I couldn't get it out of my mind. So I actually Googled it and I watched a few videos. After those videos, this video was like very clear and she explained a lot of things. Like she even had a Notion template in her description, which is very useful. So I watched this whole video and I was like, okay, I need to start this thing immediately because I felt like it would work for me. So that's why I watched this whole video. Here you can add a vision board and you'll have like 4 different quarters we can replicate. For each quarter you can replicate one. You can add different priorities for each quarter, and out of those priority for a daily basis you can add the task you want to do. And it also has like a calendar where you can journal yourself, like you have a AM and PM sort of entries where like in the morning you can prioritize your day in the AM slot with the question and answer, and the PM slot where the questions, similar questions are there, like you can say what you did and what you didn't do. Like those sort of journaling is also there in this particular template. And I mean it's very useful if you ask me. You can add your playlist and all. Like it's a good template, and I was very happy that I finally found a useful video and a video which has a template which I can use and just track my progress and actually get to see my progress on a daily basis, where I can also track all my tasks and prioritize it for every day in every week. And it's such a good template, so I'll link the video in the description so you can go and watch the video and download the template and use it for yourself. Yeah, hi. Now that video is over, I am like 3 weeks into Jan 2025, or like 3 weeks into my 12-week year. So basically, I have started with the plan, the method, and let's see the positives and the negatives and what I personally think about it and all that in this video. So you can personally decide whether or not to, do it for yourself. This 12-week year method. 12-week year method, like I said before, it's a productivity method I discovered on like the first week of Jan, and I did watch some videos on that, and I actually sent my friend a text on that, and she was like, I did that last year but I couldn't keep up with it because of other commitments and all that. And like that was the history. And in the video we saw earlier, the YouTuber gave out a Notion template as well. So now I know how it works, and I actually have a Notion template for myself to, keep note of everything. I tried the 12-week year plan for like a 3 week now. I'm not going to give the end result now because it's just 3 week, but let's share what I feel. So maybe if you want to try it out yourself, you can also start as soon as possible. Like if it is going to help you, I'll be very happy for you. Positives include I can visually see my goals coming together. Yes. So earlier, I let's say I have a small notepad. I have a small notepad where I write all my goals. So I usually write up my goals there, and then whenever I get it done, I usually make a tick mark and all that. So I can visually see my small goals getting done, but I usually don't keep up with the deadline I plan and all that. But still, I can see how much I've done and how far I've come. The same applies here as well, but a little more effective because I actually have a bigger goal which I've broken down into smaller goals, and I've written in this table where it has for week 1 7 days and week 2 7 days and all that. So I've listed my tasks there. The small task will result in getting my bigger goal done. So this is more visual because I can see the progress each week. By each week I can see the progress, and this progress is leading to the next steps, and those next steps will finally lead me to the goal I have. So I can see it more visually because it's all there in one place, like in a small calendar for myself. So that is a very good thing when it comes to this method. And the second good thing I noticed was
5 minutes later.
I forgot. Yeah, and the second good thing is, since the whole thing, like this whole year, I usually make a very big set of goals for this year. I make myself motivated and feel better, and I say I believe in you to myself like 1,000 times, and I'm like, okay, you're gonna get this done this year and all that. I do that every year, and I honestly believe in myself as well to get it done. I'll be like, this future Gayatri is going to save everything. She's going to get shit done. And then every year at the end of the year, I'm like, okay, you're such a disappointment. You didn't get shit done. And I'm like, I will be so disappointed in myself every year. So this year, since this 12-week year method is there, I can actually do that in a very small time. Like after the 12 weeks is over, I can see if I'm a disappointment and I can change myself. I don't have to wait a whole ass year to see what kind of a disappointment I am and take another year to fix that part of myself, and only to see more drawbacks and all that. So like I don't want to go through this very long period called as a year to know where I'm falling short and which I should have done better and all that. I don't have to wait for a year. I just have to wait for 12 weeks, which is like 3 months. And I'm happy about that, because if I can see that I'm not good at one thing, I have this particular schedule which is for 12 week, which this 12 weeks I'll be giving a chance for myself. I'll be trying to change myself for better, and if I don't do it by the end of 12 weeks, I can do it in the next 12 weeks. I can focus on that part which I fell short. So I don't have to waste like a year to understand what is wrong with me, and I don't have to waste another year trying to fix that. I have a very small time period to understand what's wrong with me, and I have a very small time period to fix it and move on to the next part. So this way I feel like I don't waste my whole year on one thing, or like I don't feel like I'm aging but I'm not getting things done. I feel better because I'll be like, okay, I still have most of the year left. I can fix it. I have done so much already. This year is not even over. Like I have that comfort for myself because of this method. And another thing is, this is actually a good method because I'm working in a corporate, and we actually have quarterly planning and all that. The first quarter, second quarter, and third quarter, and fourth quarter, which is nothing but a 12-week year. So they are maximizing their output from employees like me by planning for every quarter earlier, and each quarter, even though I might have fell short with what they have planned for me, but I still would have done so much more because I write my self review every quarter, like at the end of the quarter, and I see that I've actually done significant amount of the work. I'm actually, I feel good. Okay, let's say I don't waste my work time. I actually did all these things. So that is something that's already working in so many corporate companies. So since it's a working method, why can't I apply it to my personal goals as well? Why can't I get shit done? People have used to get things done. Why can't I use it for myself? So that's one more positive. And also another thing is that I'm actually able to, be chill about things. If I get things done, I'm happy because like I can see day 1 I've done this, day 2 I've done this, okay, this week is done, what's next week, like I can see all that. But then again, if I don't get one thing done, I have a whole week up for me. I can actually postpone it to the next day and get it done, or like the next day. I know that is things already were there, but I just simply didn't notice it. But now that I have a visual plan, I actually notice that, okay, just because I don't get this one thing done on this day, that doesn't make it like the end of the world. I can actually get it done the next day, because the next day I only have another one small task just like this. So this small tasks, right? Breaking it into a very small thing actually makes me a little more chill and less anxious and also more productive. I'm actually happy about that. And if you ask me if I've been very productive in this last 3 weeks, I'll be like, I've done shit. I'm not the best or something because I did waste like a 1 week time in between. I didn't completely waste it because like I was guilty that I might waste the whole week. So I did get some things done before the week started. But again, this is not something I did on purpose. This is a week of Pongal celebration, which is a traditional festival we do here. This whole week went busy because of that and only that. I wouldn't have wasted continuous like literal days. Usually I don't do that. So I did do a lot of things. I didn't expect to get so many things done, but I was happy that I was a little more productive than I am usually. And I did get most of the things done. So it's a good thing for me. There are negatives for everything, and there are some things I noticed for this method as well. I haven't faced it yet, but I think that could be a possibility for me or anyone who's going to follow that. So, yeah, let's start with what could go wrong with this method. What are the negatives or what could go wrong with this method, you ask? It could be really overwhelming if you miss the whole point of the planning, that is to actually get things done but not in a anxious way or something. I think now that you have a 12-week year plan for yourself, you're going to bunch together a lot of goals and you're going to be like, okay, I'm going to get all this shit done in a single week. Be like, all this nonsense, right? There's a fat chance of putting in so many goals together and trying to maximize yourself. But mind you, if you do that, you're going to either burn out at the end of the first 12-week year so that you waste the entire rest of the year, and there's another chance is that probably giving up in like the second or third week if you do that. So the main focus should be on chilling. Just if you don't get shit done, that's okay. That's really okay because you're trying to do better than what you usually do, which is like have a set of goals for the whole year. Try to be productive for like 5 days and then not be productive for 10 days, and then a month passes by without being doing anything. Like that's the usual scene for everybody, I guess, at least for people like me. This provides an alternate for that. This gives you a shorter time period so that you don't have to worry about the entire year. You just have to worry about this first 3 months, and even in that you break it down into each week and each day. So that is not to overwhelm anybody. So that's not to add more goals and get more shit done in an overwhelming way. That is to focus more on the smaller tasks and get one goal done so that you can actually be proud of yourself and show yourself that I've been struggling to do this for 1 year and I'm done with this in 1 month because I focused on only this particular month. That is the point of this whole method. So if you're missing that, if you plan it like that, there's a fair chance that you're gonna hate this whole method and you might not even get shit done. That is where I thought this method could falter, because like anybody can feel that way and mess it up. That's the only negative possibility I felt. And be warned, don't overwhelm yourself if you're trying this method. And I will of course update at the end of the first 12-week year, which should be I think in March end or April 1st. So around that time I'll be updating how the first 12-week year went and how productive I was, how much I have got things done. I'll be sharing more positives and negatives, of course, and more productive videos are coming up this year, because like last year I was focusing more on getting to read more books and read more and post more about reading. This year it's going to be about bettering myself, as in becoming more productive and more physically active, and of course focusing more on my betterment goals, as in my work and my whatever studying plans or learning plans I have for myself. And most important of all, writing more and getting my book published. Like my first book, it needs to get published this year. I'm going to focus on that completely. That's going to be my number one priority. Stay tuned for more such videos on productivity and writing, and of course generally reading and everything in between, and also vlogs as usual. Subscribe and support. I'll be back with another video, I guess. So bye, and live through stories.